My name is Abby Morrison. This is my map for internal and external communications within the Great Bend School District. I will take this from a point of view as not only as a school district as a whole, but some of it will be from the point of view of a kindergarten teacher, which I am. With internal communication, we start with our Board of Education. Our Board of Education meets monthly. We have our monthly meetings. They obviously take minutes. Those minutes are sent out to the community via social media, and they are also sent out to the teachers via email. Oftentimes, teachers are asked to attend the Board of Education meetings just to hear what is being discussed. Also, if it pertains to any certain one classroom, that teacher will be asked to go as well. There are often times where teachers are asked to present information to the board. Along with that, our Board of Education, I feel like, does a very good job within our district. They oftentimes, not all of them, will send an email out telling the staff good job or something they saw positive within a building. They also will make phone calls. That is rare, but it has happened, just to check in to see how you are doing. Also, our board is also very well known throughout the community. They will show up in the schools. They want to be involved in our classrooms. I have had board members come in and ask to read books. I've had board members come in and want to do a craft with my kindergarten class, which is a little nerve-wracking, but we got through it. But it's also very good to see that we have board members that support us. I know some districts do not have that. Another one that I feel like I added on was our district office, our superintendent, our vice superintendent, and we also have a head of curriculum here in Great Bend. They are very involved, and they keep every single teacher in this district in the loop somehow. Our superintendent, all three of them will send out monthly emails to the staff. They will do phone calls, they will do newsletters. They have Google Drives that share information about the district with the teachers that need the information. Really, they do not leave anyone asking any questions of what is going on. If you do have that question, then they will be sure to answer it. One thing that I do respect out of our superintendent and all three of them is that they are constantly in the classrooms. About every week, we will have a visit from one of them, two of them, maybe even all three of them. And the kids know them, they know us, they ask us how our families are, they ask if they can help. A lot of the times, they all run different elements of the district, but it's good to see that our superintendent, for instance, will send out a monthly safety email, reminding teachers of what's coming, or during COVID, he was especially good about what the updates were with the school districts. But I'm moving on to our building administration. Our building administration is very much involved. For instance, my principal right now is new. This is his first year. He is very big on face-to-face, which is very appreciative, because sometimes, things can be misread in an email. Not saying he doesn't use email, but his big push is face-to-face contact with administrators, teachers, parents, students. Get involved, get to see them, and present information that you need to present in a direct way. He also does whole staff meetings every Wednesday. That is a big thing for him. Open communication. No teacher doesn't know what is going on in the building. He also makes sure that if there's anything going on outside of school, he is there. He is there for the teachers to see. He is there for the students to see. And that's just, again, building that relationship. Teachers and staff. Our district provides us with a schedule that is very jam-packed and very busy. And so that pretty much leaves us to the option of email communication is best amongst teachers. We try to catch each other face to face as much as we can. Sometimes that doesn't work. We all know what life is like. We do have staff meetings every week. We also have things called PLCs. That was where you get in meetings based on your grade level. For instance, since I teach kindergarten, every Monday I meet with the kindergarten through second grade, We discuss things that are going on in our classroom, any resources we need, how we can help each other, or maybe sometimes it's just a good old vent session. But that allows us to stay in touch with one another, and we are still a unit. We still work as a unit, we still work as a team. That ensures that relationship bond between the teachers so we can keep a healthy community here. Also, we do try to meet face to face. Sometimes a phone call over the classroom is what we get in a jam-packed hurry, but it's very much we are one. I know the cool thing, I have never seen it at another district, and I'm sure it's done. It's probably nothing new, but I do like the fact if something goes on in the building, we have a phone call chain where each teacher is in charge of calling the next person below them. And if someone gets missed, well, then you look up and see who didn't make the phone call. So that's something I think is cool because it's neat because it puts it back on the teachers. Student-wise, face-to-face is always the main one. Anything you have, a student wants to see you, a student wants to hear you, a student wants to be involved with you, not an email. We do use email communication. Sometimes that's just as quick, but if you have a chance to go talk one-on-one with a student, always go for that. That is what our principal pushes. That is what our district pushes. So get that going with that one-on-one communication. Obviously, social media is a very big one. Yes, it's a very popular one. Yes, it's probably the easiest one because everyone has a phone in their hand, it seems like. But sometimes that can be the backup plan. Put something out there, they can read it later. But still, face-to-face has always been the number one. When it comes to external communications, I do think Great Bend still does a good job. Obviously there's some room for improvement, but starting with our parents, we use the Skyward and district website. That gives a lot of information to our parents directly. Obviously, we do email, social media, and Seesaw for a classroom basis. And Google Classrooms, that has been a new push lately, obviously with COVID. Google Classroom isn't that big with the kindergarten students just because we have stayed in school somehow other than that first initial round. So the upper grades all have their Google Classroom, so if they go remote in a day, they don't have to worry about that. Our local businesses are very big on newspapers and radio. They keep everything up to date. They get the articles written, and I think once a month, our superintendent or a principal or even a teacher, I've done it, where we have a radio talk show about what's going on in the school district. For instance, I spoke on the radio about the bond for getting a new preschool and why we need a preschool in the district as a kindergarten teacher. So they try to keep everyone going, everyone informed, and then social media, face-to-face, and then the big one is the school-related activities. Getting out there and having people see the businesses that are involved in the schools, who's showing up and who's watching those kids play and interact. And then we move on to our community leaders, obviously face-to-face, school-sponsored events. The newspaper and radio are big again. A lot of publicity when it comes to a school, but any way the school can help and also those community leaders reach out and be a part of the school district is huge. Athletics and clubs, social media, Twitter, Facebook, each individual athletic club has their own route. For instance, I'm volleyball, we use Facebook. We have our own little private community. Our parents are always up to date. We live stream, we get that out there. For instance, the football team uses Twitter. So it's kind of just depends on what route the coach wants to take. But we do a lot with the newspaper and radio with advertising and getting the games on air, the articles written. We've had players interviewed. And then again, with communication, we still make those phone calls. We still use the communication apps and the face-to-face. You can't go wrong with face-to-face ever. I feel like that one is the most important still. Youth groups, school-sponsored events. I know the youth groups here in our communities, they oftentimes will utilize the school buildings, and they will be a part of bringing that community together, building those relationships. Fifth quarter is a big one on Friday nights. They still do the radio and newspaper, and then again, the email face-to-face. Overall, I feel like Great Bend's communication, they try very hard to keep everyone on the same page. Obviously, again, there is room for room for improvement, but I do think overall I can't complain on how involved, especially with the Google Drives nowadays. It's very easy to get information to and from people without having to have a constant delay. So thank you.